Well, well, well. The Premier League is back. And isn't it back, guys? That was a fucking thriller the other day. Welcome to Gunners in Oz. I'm really happy to have a full room of guys for this match review show. I guess 4 goals, 4 guests. Is that the way it's going to work? So
maybe
when we have draw 0-0, I guess I'll be here by myself.
It's a good theory.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome Sebastian, first time on the show, along with regulars Troy, Anup, and Bradley. Guys, what are your first thoughts? Start with Troy.
First thoughts is that was a proper typical Arsenal start to the season. We had it, we lost it, we had it, we lost it, we had it. So
true.
Yeah. So no, that was insane. Oh look, I said in the last one the other week we'd have to come from behind to win it. Now I got the score wrong, but they did, and thank God they did. So I was right. I thought they'd finally get off the start with a win. We don't do it often, so something new. But no, brilliant game.
Well, apparently, Sebastian was at the stadium on Friday. What was the atmosphere like at the Emirates?
I have to say, it was actually incredible. And this is what we've been crying out for years. Obviously, an incredible atmosphere like the Emirates. We'd try and make this place an absolute fortress. And I thought they did in most of the game. They fully got behind the team. And yeah, it was great to see. And when we go to Bournemouth next week in September, I expect to see the same thing.
When we were down, Jamie Vardy scores and picks it up 2-1 and 3-2. What was the atmosphere like in the stadium then?
Yeah, it did go a little bit flat. He was expected to when we went behind, but overall they still kept singing. They still kept behind the team, and yeah, we were always confident something would happen. But the longer it went on from 3-2, the longer it went on, I thought, oh no, not this again. But when we got the equaliser, we were just like, right, players, just get back to the halfway line, don't celebrate, and when the fourth goal went in, fantastic.
It was awesome.
Big only G. Bradley, what was your take on the game?
Well, with that goal for 3-2, I put my head on a pillow and thought, let's go to bed. But honestly, it was such a typical Arsenal game. It was let's have a good start. We've got a goal by Lacazette to the start from the header. It was just typical, and when you think about it, Giroud's not going to be a starting striker like he was in the last few seasons. He's going to come on and he's going to score those goals all year. That's what we need him for. That's just incredible. There's no way at the start of the season you expect that. Maybe during the middle of the season when players are set and gelled, but you can just see there's something in this team. They've had so long together. There's not that many. Kolasinac played well. Actually, he played like a machine. Rob Holding got caught out a lot. But yeah, you can just see that the players they had a good pre-season, good time together. Obviously, 24 hours on the plane to Australia, but other than that, I reckon we might have a good year, but not gonna jump into anything just
optimism.
yet.
We need that.
I'll just be 2 seconds.
When Aaron Ramsey makes it 3-3 and then Olivier Giroud makes it 4-3, how many layers of clothing are on your body?
I was just on my t-shirt, right? I saw it and my brother, he just came from the other room and said, it's just 5 a.m, so just hush, right? They're never gonna call. I was screaming. The match was so intense. There was no lot of every second there's counter attack going on here and there. You couldn't take off your eyes from the screen. It was so intense. And when Giroud put it because they didn't give any goal, right? And after they gave the goal, I feel a relief. 4-3. Otherwise, Arsenal fan TV, because there was already, memes going on, Arsene Wenger in, Arsene Wenger out, in, out.
I usually stay off Twitter during matches. It's just too much for me.
No, seriously, the meme was going viral. If we have lost, it was saying it's going to be the Arsenal fan TV review is going to be greater than the Game of Thrones. And I was laughing so hard, seriously.
Oh man, guys, honestly, I was so buzzing to see the Premier League, to hear the music and the boys walk out to the stadium. It was like, yes, finally, Premier League is back. It was such a buzzing feeling. And then we're going to start breaking down the game here, moment by moment. 1 minute and a half into the game, and Alexandre Lacazette scores his first goal for Arsenal. Bradley, I know you're going to be buzzing on this, so I'll let you describe your feelings on that.
Lacazette's goal? Oh, it's crazy. Actually, you know what? I thought to myself, I'll just sit here, I'll sit down, I'll watch the kickoff, and then I'll go to the bathroom because I needed to go to the toilet. And I thought, anyways, I'll go to the toilet, come back, Lacazette scored. I thought, oh no, I've missed it. I've missed it. Missed it. Well, the replay was good enough, but I missed it live. But anyway, no, it was awesome. I hope it's one of many.
Bradley, is Lacazette? I mean, I was looking. Ian Wright's first game for Arsenal, he scored against Leicester City, and Thierry Henry's very first Arsenal game was also against Leicester City. Is it a bit ironic that it's happening as well with Lacazette? Does he deserve to be in that category, or is it too early?
Oh yeah. See, what I don't understand is how Lacazette isn't in the same category as Morata. Morata's not that good. They're all raving around about Morata, but Chelsea lost 3-2 yesterday.
He did score.
He did score, but I mean,
man,
that guy that Huddersfield, but no one's raving on about him, but he scored 2 goals, and Huddersfield won 3-0.
Also from the French league, by the way. So
also in the French league, Morata scores 1 goal, and Chelsea lose 3-2. But he's the one people are talking about.
You know what? Looking at Chelsea this week, I was like, I can laugh, but I've been there, guys.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody else who gets to have pain on the first day. Somebody else who, 12 weeks in, they're like, oh, it's only been, 11 games since their capitulation on opening day. That was us for the last 2 years. Finally, it's going to be Chelsea. The champions, untouchable Chelsea. It's just great to see that.
I was listening to Peter Schmeichel and Tim Sherwood on the way home talking about Chelsea and about their title defense last time and how it relates to this one. And you can see they're definitely persistent on after a title loss to not have a good start, because after a title to not have a good start to the next season. And Chelsea, they don't have any until Hazard comes back. They've got nothing in attack. Hazard is their main creator, and I mean Diego Costa could probably help them right now, but he's gone. He's gone.
He's too busy partying in a Atletico Madrid shirt. So.
Exactly, that's all on Chelsea because they told him he wasn't required.
Yeah, 100%. Sebastian, Shinji Okazaki.
Yeah.
Does that sort of take the deflate the sails after just a buzzing start to the game?
Absolutely, because what annoyed me about that is, to be honest with you, I thought there was a couple of things wrong with that goal. Firstly, Petr what's he doing? And we actually lost the ball. It was Mesut Ozil that lost the ball. He should have been doing better there, but I don't like slacking him off because I'm one of his biggest fans and he gets a lot of stick, but he should have done better there. And Monreal, yes, I know he's not a centre-back, but seriously, he's got to be man-marking and picking up those threats in the box. Seriously, any defender has got to be doing that. So it's Arsenal have done that too many times in the past. That's gone a goal up and then immediately later concede again. It's happened quite a few times. It's all this also zonal marking, and we're not tracking our runners. We've still got problems at the back as we saw it a couple of times later on in the game. That just shows that this lack of leadership and that lot is not there yet, and we need it there. It's leadership.
Yeah. Well, the man who was captaining us on the day seemed a little bit lost on that between the sticks. Do you reckon Cheika's to blame a bit? Does he look like?
Oh yeah, for that goal, yes, he is actually a little bit, because I didn't think he commanded the box very well, because you're meant to also command your box as well, and he didn't. He didn't do that, and he thought he had it covered, or when he clearly didn't.
Onto the captain while they're both out. Who do you put the armband around?
Check.
Personally, I would actually give it to Petr Cech, because I actually think he's a leader, which things that we're missing lately. I know we've got Laura Koscielny coming back, but I actually don't think he's vocal enough to be a leader. I think Mustafi and Granit Xhaka can also do that captaincy role, but the thing is, do you risk it on them a bit too soon, or would you give it another season before them? Because
I honestly would give it to Ramsey. I'm not a big Ramsey fan, and lots of people know that. But when he came on, he bossed it. Like, he honestly was telling people what to do. He was calling the shots out there, and maybe give it to him. Like, he pretty much won us that game. Like, he played well.
Yeah, definitely.
Well.
And
what about Ozil?
Ozil was a little bit quiet today.
Would you guys think giving him the captain's band?
No. He's a great player, but I don't think he's a leader whatsoever. He's actually very introverted, and he would not be suited to the captain's role. People wouldn't rally around him. I don't.
Yeah, true.
Yes, definitely. I will go for Ramsey because he's been in Arsenal for so long. I think he's good. And Xhaka in the first half, he was playing so poor. He was losing ball. Even the second goal, he admitted in an interview that it's because of his fault. We were 2 goals behind, and after Ramsey came on, he became lively. He came back to his last season's form. I think we need a good partner for Xhaka to perform his best. Otherwise, our midfield gonna be in big trouble.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you, Troy. So we're talking about Granit Xhaka just now, but in for Leicester City's second goal, wow, I don't know what he's doing. And Mark Albrighton puts in probably what I would explain as the perfect ball for Jamie Vardy.
Yeah,
and it's just unexcusable from Granit Xhaka.
It looked like Xhaka, ironically, was trying to take charge in the box, and he was busy pointing at guys he was pointing out to someone that was at the top of the box and making sure he was picked up. But in doing that, he took his eyes off Vardy and give him that space to just knock the header in. He just lost that fraction of a second where he just lost concentration trying to sort out the box.
Both Jamie Vardy goals. But the pass though for the 2-1, I'm more discussing right now. That for me is unexcusable. There's no Arsenal player in the area. Where is the ball even going to?
Yeah, true. His stats though weren't too bad. I know some of his passing stats. I thought he'd had an average game. But I've read somewhere some of his stats for the game that his passes actually, towards the end of the game, he actually came good, and we all saw him come good. But overall, I think he had a pretty good game. Doesn't look it on the TV.
Yeah. The question I would ask here, Troy, is there's a lot of criticism that's going towards that makeshift back three. But when I watch the game that we conceded are down to midfielders giving the ball away in dangerous areas and exposing the defenders. I mean,
yeah, true.
Is there something to be said about that?
Yeah, look, I think there is. I think, like, our back three works when we've got an experienced guy down there. Like, we're missing Koscielny. Holding had a fairly average game, but I think it just exposed that Holding's good, but he needs someone. He needs direction. Just needs. He doesn't have the experience yet, but he needs that direction of like a murder stack, like he had in the FA Cup, or when he's got Koscielny there, he's got someone to set that back three. But yeah, we give it away in midfield. We do that a lot. And it then comes back on the defenders because the heat's on them.
Yeah,
but I agree.
Sebastian-
I think we need. Yeah, I think we need someone else. Like Jacques is great.
We need a
Hopefully, this
defensive
is the season he
midfielder.
steps up. Yeah,
We definitely need a defensive midfielder because the midfield is not covering up the defense. That's the main problem. We're getting goals.
I'm gonna come to Sebastian on this question, and that is, can you tell at the stadium when you because when I was watching in Sydney, the movement, you can tell the midfield battle much easier when you're on the ground. You can see who's winning the midfield battle. What's Shaka and Eleni like as a partnership live at the ground?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think that partnership gives you enough creativity because we were actually lacking a lot of creativity until Ramsey actually came on. Then he actually made something happen. Yes, Onene does work hard. Yes, he is always willing to do something, but he isn't very there and more creative. I actually think most of you are saying that we need a defensive midfielder. I actually think we could do like an attacking midfielder, to be honest. Someone like Goretzka or Seri or Brozovic, who we've been linked with. I think that's also partly what's needed as well. Don't forget, we also had Coquelin out who good at like crossing the back line and getting more involved in the game. But I'm not too sure about the Coquelin and Xhaka partnership. I reckon a Xhaka and Ramsey partnership will work very well because he gives us more creativity and at the back.
Shaka and Wilshere combination.
I love that combination.
Yeah.
And Jack Wilshere, I think, when fit, is next to Santi Cazorla the best midfielder we have. Because
he's fantastic.
He can carry the ball from defense to attack. He's aggressive. He makes the little passes very, very well. He combines with other players very well.
And he also gives you a lot of more drive going forward and back. Going forward, he gives you the drive. And he gives you leadership as well. Yeah, that's what we've been crying out for a little bit of that. We've not had enough of that over the years.
I would agree that we would less need a defensive midfielder because I think we have that in Granit Xhaka. And I think he looks like he's poised to have a very, very good season this year. I think we just need a midfielder who can play the ball simply and doesn't give the ball away. I think Seri fits the bill perfectly. I think Goretzka would fit the bill perfectly.
Yeah.
I just don't want, the disconnect within the midfielders or I think the giving the ball away in midfield I think is something that we don't discuss enough when we complain about Arsenal. We always put the blame out on the defenders or we need a defensive midfielder, but none of those problems are even a problem if we are able to maintain possession in midfield.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
All right, Anup. So Danny Welbeck, he scores the equalizer. Strange one over there. The big old tank comes up from defense to forward. Lacazette seems to slip over the ball, gets over to the tank, and Welbeck falls into a second goal. And essentially, is that just a relief for going for halftime? Did that change the game?
I was happy. It's not because it's 2-2. It's because Danny Welbeck scored finally, in the box.
I'll be back.
I was usually Danny Welbeck, he missed before the free kick. He already missed his chance. I think he missed his chance, isn't it? That was his second chance that he pushed. He put the ball inside the net. I was happy. It was 2-2 and first half gone. Break time. Second half. Second new drama again. It started same 3-2, 3-3. Oh my god, the game was lots of goal. Beginning of the season, it has everything. Everything is It's like having a chicken with the peri sauce. Like it was hot, spicy, cold, everything. Like
Now, I do not remember a game where we scored 4 goals and I celebrated as hard as I did for each goal individually. Like they all were very important. We took the lead early on. That was huge. The second goal, we were 2-1 down, and it's just on the stroke of halftime. And we'll go on to discuss goals 3 and 4. But wow, what a game, honestly. And and to go into halftime 2-2, you think that Arsenal are going to go on to win the game, which, well, we eventually do. But in pure Arsenal fashion, we decide not to make the game easy for us. Bradley, Jamie Vardy, Xhaka loses him at the corner, 3-2. And you said before, the head goes into the pillow.
Yeah, my head goes in the pillow.
but he missed the fun part, like the goal number 3 and 4. It came so fast, like the goal number 3 and 4. It was the best, I think.
We should have only needed goal number 3. That goal was pathetic. Xhaka should have been not worrying about what everyone else was doing and worrying about marking his own player. Right?
Oh, that was the 3. Yeah.
But later he redeemed. He did 2 assists, I think. The 2 assists. So overall, it was all right. And Xhaka did admit, right, because of his mistake, the second goal was on him. And I have to give a big up to him that he realized that it's because of his mistake. He came live in the TV interview. And I think it's a good thing. He should learn from that. Like, sometimes it's better to play a simple pass than play a delicate, do a mistake.
Yeah, I love the fact that he owned up to it. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I don't think we see I think none of our players really take responsibility.
That's true.
I think we saw that basically at Crystal Palace when we lost 3-0. It was only then afterwards that I think was it if I'm wrong, Hector Bellerin who came up to apologize to everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
I think from then on we started seeing more of a pattern where the players are communicating with the fans in terms of their own performances and apologizing for mistakes. And I think it's nice to see, actually. I think it's really good to see that you can tell that they actually care.
Yeah, definitely.
Completely agree.
So, Monsieur Wenger, this is the point that I want to bring up. I know
you have to mention that. You have to mention that.
No Wenger in, no Wenger outs. But for the first time, I don't know, since I can remember, he changes formation mid-game, and it pays off. Guys, are we seeing the remake of Arsene Wenger?
I don't think he really did, because when you look back at it, it was more Oxlade-Chamberlain just playing the 3 and Kolasinac was up.
I was holding off to replace him with Giroud.
Yeah, but
so we played 2 at the back. Kolasinac and Monreal.
No.
two left backs at the center.
Yeah, 2 left back, but I see Kolasinac going up. Like there was literally one defender in our areas.
Monreal, Bellerin, and Ox stayed back.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they did go to a 4. I did hear that they were, but I honestly think they just stayed at what they.
No, I think this game has to it's not because of the individual quality. It's because of the formation. When we bring Giroud, Ramsey on, and we changed the formation, we were dominating. Like we were just attacking, and Leicester could not cope the attack. And Ox, I think Ox should play at the right back, at right side, not on the left side. Because every time he plays at the left side, he loses ball. He doesn't track back. He doesn't put his 100%. But when he went to right, he started playing very good. He was doing good crosses, everything. He was tracking back the defender.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. He's got to be played at right wing back.
Yeah.
And like
Nah.
I've been saying Hector Bellerin for 2-3 games. He's not at his best. I think he should be benched. He's not at his best. Like
Yeah, well, I
I don't
found
know
it
what happened to
interesting.
Bellerin. He's not at his best.
I found it interesting as well. When Ramsey and Giroud come on, Bellerin switches to left back,
Left,
if
Yeah.
I'm correct, and Ox plays at right back.
right.
That's very interesting. I've never knew that Hector Bellerin was capable of playing left back, and yeah, it seemed to have paid off for Arsenal because I thought we were much more secure after that.
Yes.
I think they did. I looked at a couple of his runs, and there was a couple of his runs that he had coming out of the back line where he was like across the centre line before the midfielders, and he had to pull up and wait for the mids to
Yeah.
catch. And I think I agree. Last year he didn't have a great season, but I reckon he was carrying something that we will never ever know about. I reckon he was injured, and they were just nursing him through. But I saw a couple of those runs out of the backfield. I sort of thought, you know what, his pace is back, and that was always his thing, his speed. But he had a good 2 or 3 runs out there, which could have turned into something. But there was no one in mid to get it to, so he had to back off, wait for them to come up, and in doing that, Leicester also came up, and we had a contest on our hands. But
Well,
I reckon his runs out of the back were good.
Yeah.
well, Bradley was saying in our preview show that he expects Hector Bellerin to score at least 10 goals this season. He almost made it 1. And I was thinking when he missed that.
That was something a wild guess or something that might happen.
It's very brave of you, Brad. Massive gamble.
Yeah. But guys, if he's gonna score 10 goals, he's gonna have to learn to finish. Like when the keeper comes out, he needs to learn that he just needs to chip the ball over the keeper, and that would have
Not
been
everything's
3-3
power.
at that point.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
that's we got like 2-3 players who lacks the end result, like Welbeck. You see Alex Iwobi. They're pretty good. They can go through the defense, but when it comes to putting behind the goal, they always lack that confidence. Or I don't know, even with Hector Bellerin doing simple mistake when you can just chip the ball or lob,
yeah.
I
I don't
honestly
know. I
thought we
think
should
they
have
need
started
to improve that very much.
over Welbeck. Why
Yeah.
did we have Welbeck playing like a centre attacking
Now,
mid
like,
position?
Every time, I think playing well back, it gives us the pace, and he's very good at like going behind the defender, doing pass inside the box.
Yeah,
But
Do you
I probably
guys
would have
think that
started
we'd be
away.
better off if we switched instead of having the 2 in attacking midfield and 1 striker? We'd be better off having a strike partnership with just Ozil tucked in behind. Because I was just thinking about it. I think we'd be a lot more better off doing that. Like once we have Alexis Sanchez back, instead of having playing deeper, just have him play up top with Lacazette. You
But
agree
you
with
need
me on
more
that?
attacking. Like the only reason they play the two is because it's more attacking when you think about it. Because going forward, yeah, you have 2 up, but those 2 will stay up. See, where
Yeah,
well,
you do have a
that
point.
they come back and they're out in defense. So you can't expect Özil to go back and help because honestly, he really doesn't all the time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but it's a fair call.
7 minutes to go, boys, and do we have a corner? Well, actually, before we get to that, Mesut Ozil, is that a handball?
That's handball.
nah,
Yes.
it
It's
wasn't.
handball.
I won't say it's a
Yes,
handball.
unfortunately.
Every day it's a handball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Every
is.
day.
You have to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought particularly that Mike Dean actually had a very good game. I think that's the one blot on his copybook for the day. But to me, man, if he was going to make a blot, it might as well go in our favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. To make up for the other 600 that he's done that haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Maybe
about
he doesn't
time
wanna-
we got love for Mike Dean for once.
Like,
Yeah.
Back to
maybe
the
it's
action.
thing-
Nope, I'll actually let you finish what you want to
It's
say.
all right. It's all right. Just
We got a corner kick. The ball's played to Granite. Shako plays a lovely ball over the top, and Ramsey just nicely controls it, puts it in the corner. 3-3. Guys, are we jumping off our seats at that point?
yeah,
Do we
definitely. I
believe?
was
Yeah.
screaming. I was like screaming. I was hitting the wall like I was just screaming like really loud.
At
Yeah,
that point,
definitely.
I was like pumped up. It was already morning, and I was pumped up with that goal.
Sebastian,
Then
I was
also-
wondering, right before that goal, are Arsenal fans saying we'll take a draw?
A couple did actually. So I can understand why they said it because we've lost a lot of games on the opening day, and we didn't want this to also end in a defeat. And the longer it went on, I didn't see it actually coming back. So most fans would say that, but the thing is, we need the win. And when we got that equaliser, I was trying to scream out, saying, "Right, don't celebrate, take the ball back and run straight to the centre." Don't. I was trying to do that. Right, run straight to the centre.
I haven't seen an Arsenal player do that since Cesc Fabregas. I remember when he scored the penalty, was it against Leeds in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Time that I've seen an Arsenal player pick the ball up after scoring and go like, right, let's score
I
again.
remember Nicholas Bettner did it against Spurs when we lost 2-1 when we were in the title race. Nicholas Bettner did that. I remember that one. But since then, I've not seen it.
So two superstar and Fabregas, he got a red card, and Nicholas Bender, he recently had an old league goal. I think he just had an awesome goal. Did you guys watch that clips?
In the
Yeah, I
who
just
did he play
watched.
for now? Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I don't know. He just had like one old league goal, and like everybody was buzzing. Nicholas Bender, his back as his best. Beware that kind of stuff, and like since you mentioned says Fabregas, he got a red card.
Mate, his best is
Like
a goal a
Chelsea.
season, so I think he is back to
Yeah.
his best. So
Yeah, that's it.
Now Chelsea got a Tottenham, I think next week, isn't it? So I don't know how they're gonna play with their two best players not able to play the game.
Benner's playing for Rosenborg in
In Norway.
Is he in
Norway.
Norway?
Yeah, Rosenborg's in Norway. Yeah. Who's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's gone from Nottingham Forest.
Didn't
okay,
he just
so
went there like a last season?
so guys, a bit of controversy I'm going to bring up here, but first, the winner, the cross comes in from the corner. Olivier Giroud, he holds off Maguire, he holds off Morgan,
Yeah.
and he just gets the
Bam.
ball barely over the line.
There's Benner's goal.
Pandemonium.
Oh, is it?
Is that Bentner's goal?
Yeah.
The Bender's goal.
Like everyone buzzing.
What match was that, Bradley?
Yeah, 2 days,
Ooh.
I think that's recent game.
It was only the other day,
Bam.
so
All right.
So I'm going to ask you guys a question. All right, Olivier Giroud, throughout his Arsenal career, has received a lot of stick from Arsenal fans. But I was listening to my boy Hugh Wizzy. I'm a massive fan of his. I was listening to his video today, and he makes a very good point. The man is a bit underappreciated. He's actually a bit of a hero. Because if you think about it, especially take this moment in particular, the game is on the line, and he holds off. He literally, I've seen the stills. He's got Maguire literally holding on to his legs like a dog who's holding on to its owner. And then he's got Morgan, who's big, muscly, also holding on to him by his shirt. And he manages to get up there, get his neck muscles in to score that goal. He literally carries them. And this is not the first time he's done this for Arsenal. He scores big goals. He's a bit of a superhero figure, I think. Do we think that Olivier Giroud is massively underappreciated at Arsenal?
Definitely.
Absolutely,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
There is no
Like-
denying, like, maybe he's not the old class, but the money we put and the goals we're getting, I think he's good. He can be the best second striker. Like in the middle of the season when we're gonna have a problem with the strikers, he could be a good replacement.
To be fair, though, I think that Olivier Giroud's place in the team, and I know Arsenal sort of got this mixed up second half of the season last year, and I think had a bit to do with our decline. And he needs to understand that Olivier Giroud's role is that he is probably the best super sub in world football at this moment in time. He's the only guy you can really bring on who can actually change the game just coming off from the bench, and he wins games for you like that. He's literally a big brute of a man, and
Yeah.
he's got that. He works better as a sub than he does as a starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think it sucks for him that he's not starting, but as an Arsenal fan, I'm glad to know that he's on the bench when we're 60 minutes into a game and we're 2-3 or 3-3 or we need someone, knowing that he's there to come on. It's like good, bring him in.
This is him leaving. Maybe wanting to go to Everton, or they're talking about Marseille. Do you think that he's chosen to stay at Arsenal because he understands the idea of team, that everyone has a role in their team, and that his role in Arsenal is actually one that have high value?
Mm-hmm.
Does you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think he wants to stay and fight for his place. Yeah, absolutely. And
when you say fight for your place, wouldn't you argue that his place is that of coming off the bench and scoring? Because that's when he's at his best. If he's scoring winners and he's scoring huge goals for Arsenal in important times, even if he's not starting,
I think that's his role. Like I said, he's a professional footballer. He doesn't want to be in a bench for 60 minutes a game. He wants to play as much as he possibly can. Why wouldn't you? But I also think that there's something about him, and it's something to do with the club as well, that he's committed to the club just as much. And I think that's where he deserves the respect, because there's no way no one's gone to Arsenal or gone to his management and said, you know what, you come play for us this season, you can start every single game. Someone's done it for sure. They'd be mad not to. And for sure, he's been the one that's put the kibosh on it and said, no, I'm not going to do it. This is where I want to be because I want to be part of this club. Now, it might not be part of the club in the way that he wants, but he still wants to be part of it, and that will get overlooked. And I think that's a shame, because that's what we want from guys. We want them to want to be at the club, and he does.
He shows us what's loyalty. He shows us loyalty. We should give him a big hand for that, right? And Alexis should learn something from him.
Yeah. We're actually question about Alexis. That chick that he was with in this crowd, is that his girlfriend, or is that some?
Nah, I think no.
She did not look interested in Alexis whatsoever. He was like putting his arm around her, and she's like still like moving out of the way. Like, I was like,
see what's right?
He's a great footballer, but he does not know anything about women.
Nah.
I think he's in a fresh relation, so he doesn't want to come back. I think he's in a fresh relation.
He's more of a dog guy than a girl guy, right?
Yeah.
Bradley, does Alexander Lacazette, the presence of Alexander Lacazette, make Olivier Giroud better?
Yeah, I was actually going to touch on this before. When Giroud came on and they switched Lacazette out wide a bit, Lacazette was giving Giroud the balls that he needed. Like, he was passing a lot, and he was playing well. Like, I still wouldn't put Giroud up front over Lacazette, but Lacazette plays good with and without being front. Like, having Lacazette on the field when Giroud's on the field is good, but will work for some games. Like, if we're playing against United, it's probably not going to work. But teams like Leicester, where Lacazette's pace and being able to take on men is going to help. And he can give Giroud that last ball, and Giroud will finish anything. But honestly, if you look at it closely, the Lacazette and Giroud will be a good combination for certain games, but not others.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I also think as well that Giroud gets better when he feels like he's under threat. I think when Alexis was starting last year at center forward, Giroud, when he came on, he was much better, and he scored big goals off the bench. It didn't happen when he was starting, and I think when he feels comfortable is when he starts to have his patches where he struggles.
That is a fair point.
Yeah.
I have said that. Yeah,
Definitely.
If we keep Lacazette fit, I believe that we will have a better Olivier Giroud. And it's crazy to think because they were all this talk of, Lacazette's in, they can't play together. They're both French. One of them has to miss out on the team. But they can coexist.
of course they can. And also we want competition as well. We don't want someone to feel that they have every divine right to start or their place is safe. We want a bit of competition. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
And because of Lacazette, like Theo, like Danny Welbeck, they all have to give their best. Otherwise, they're going to be benched, and they know that. And World Cup is coming. It's at the end of the season, so they have to perform their best. And I think being like a competition is good for themselves and for the club too.
Yeah. Off the basis of the game yesterday, do we need a new defender, or do you reckon that the defense gets solved with players coming back from either injury or suspension or rest and just a lot better tactics defensively? Is the tactics does tactics fix the defense, or does signing fix the defense?
Yeah.
Tactics.
Yeah, tactics.
There is no communication between like three of the back three, and with midfield too. They're like.
I mean,
yeah,
I would love to see Virgil van Dijk sign for Arsenal. I've never actually seen an indication that Arsenal are actually looking at him. So I don't actually think this is a signing that's actually going to happen. I think it's more likely that Van Dijk ends up at Liverpool. But Robbie makes a very good point yesterday on Arsenal Fan TV. He said, if Van Dijk was playing, was at Arsenal, he still wouldn't be playing yesterday.
No.
He just come back from an injury. Yeah, that is a fair point. But you have to also look about it in the long term and throughout the course of the season. Maybe if we bought someone like a Virgil van Dijk, I think he'll be just what we need. I don't actually understand why we're actually not in the mix, because he also gives you leadership as well on and off the pitch as well, something which we've needed. So yeah, he'll be a great option. And also, I don't understand why we're going to offload Callum Chambers, because I don't actually think he's as bad a player as everyone makes him out.
I thought he played well for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, for Middlesbrough. Yeah, he did. Yeah. And don't forget, he's still young and he's still learning, just like Rob Holding. And he was a recognised centre back, and Mustafi was on the bench. So I'm not saying why couldn't one of those two play? That's what I didn't understand about the other night.
I find that very strange because I watch Bundesliga a lot, and I see Arturo Vidal is already playing for Bayern Munich, and he played in the exact same game as Mustafi and Alexis Sanchez. So what's up with our players who were at Confederations Cup? Why can't they be playing already? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, wouldn't you think the only way they get match fit is with match minutes?
Yeah, definitely. But you do also have to put into context they do need rest. But I just think Wenger gives them too long to rest. Just like you saw last season, we didn't have any French players or any German players starting our first couple of games. Yeah. But when I looked across the rival clubs, I saw their players starting, and they played in the same finals and same matches. I just think Wenger gives them so much rest. And don't forget, they're also being paid so much. So surely they should be fit enough to play. And also Mustafi, if he's fit enough to be on the bench, and he was a recognised centre back and our only one apart from Rob Holding, then he should be starting.
100%. Guys, given the fact of what we've seen yesterday, does Arsene Wenger, does he have to play his centre backs regardless against Stoke City, or if not, will we pay the price?
We could do, because don't forget, Stoke is one of our bogey teams, especially at
Yeah.
their place we've had over the years. I know they've lost Arnautovic, their main threat, but they do still have some good players like Berahino and etc. But it is very important as well. We're clinical and and we defend well, of course, because this back line against better teams, if we carry on like this, we'll be conceding a lot of goals. So it is very, very important that we play with recognised centre backs and we get our players back, because I think it's going to be a much harder game than Leicester. So if Leicester can get 3, then so can Stoke. I know Leicester are a bit more attacking, and don't forget Stoke aren't really that defensive as everyone thinks they are, because Mark Hughes has got them playing a bit more attacking football. We saw them last season. So, yeah, absolutely, it's very important.
I seen a little bit of Stoke's game yesterday, and honestly, without Arnautovic, they look a bit lost.
See, we'll talk more about Stoke during the preview, but one thing I thought, actually, after watching the height disparity of the defenders we had, they could just stick Peter Crouch up front and he will have a field day against centre-backs half his height.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
do you
exactly.
play Per against Stoke to counteract that?
I think you have to. I don't think you have much choice with that height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we should go for 2 at the front, like with Giroud and Lacazette, because Stroke, they're gonna play some physical game. What do you reckon?
That's a good point. I
Yeah.
think
Stroke, they're
Yeah.
always physical, and that's
Drew
their
started last
physicality
year
bully
against
us
Stoke, did he
every
not?
time.
He scored.
Yeah, he did, and he actually scored the opening goal. But the thing again, what was good about that game is we went in with pace, and I've always said whenever we go in with pace and we can always break them down, then tight at the back, then that's how to beat them. Just do what we did last season.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I want to touch on, of course, is Liverpool's game after ours. Is the Premier League season this year going to be the craziest year we are going to see in the history of the league?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be.
Yeah.
Well, if you're saying that, then Huddersfield will win the Prem. They've already gone top after day. Oh, they've already gone top after day one.
That's it.
I will not laugh at that ever, because Leicester City won the Premier League. Anything is possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Huddersfield, Leicester 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest,
And
though, I think it is going to be. We're going to, we say it's going to be an up and down season, but and like there's a Leicester or there's something else. But I think that's just the Premier League starting to balance out. Like, I mean, for years it's been really, let's face it, with 4 or 5 sides. Man U, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Everton. So maybe 4 or 5 sides that you sort of went into the season thinking, well, it's going to be between them because they've got the most money. Things are starting to balance out a bit now, and I think that's why you're going to get your Huddersfields and your Brightons and stuff. I mean, like Bournemouth hadn't been in it for years, and normally they're in and out the same year, and now they're starting to hang around a bit more, and it's like that's just the league balancing out, and that's why it's the best league.
Yeah, and also you can't.
All of us predicted them last. All of us
I
predicted
did as
them
well.
last.
Yeah.
And they're top now. So
Don't forget, it is still only match day 1. Of course, it's a long way of the season to go.
Exactly.
But you can't precisely look past the top 7 still, and I do still think it will plan out that way. However, based on when you said it's the craziest Premier League season ever, I'm not so sure about that. But what I am sure is that you can never take any game for granted, no matter who you play. Every game is a big game. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, the Chelsea game, I think, perfectly illustrates that. Is that before halftime they're 3-0 down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think they went there. I honestly think they went there quite rightly, thinking, you know what, we've got this. It gets very tricky very quickly.
Right at Stamford Bridge. And we touched upon it as well in the preview show that we thought, you know what, every year after the title defense is usually horrid. And I have a theory actually that the board at Chelsea, I mean, this is an Arsenal show, but I feel like the board at Chelsea actually purposefully don't support their title-winning managers. I think it's how they operate. I think that they feel that they're better when they have the manager under pressure, and I don't know, because it's to me it seems way too fishy that they literally seem to have, for a team as big as them, at least 12 managers in the last 10 years. And the same thing happened with Mourinho when they sold Petr Cech to us, and he couldn't buy any players that summer except for I think Juan Cuadrado. And it's the same thing is happening now with Conte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't wanna
that's
talk
what it
about
is.
anything about Chelsea, so I'm just gonna keep quiet. I don't even wanna take their names. So
All right, so this is the fun part, guys. I'm gonna go through the match rating. So I'm gonna go player by player, starting with the goalkeeper Troy. Petr Cech out of 10.
Out of 10, 6.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'll go 5.
I agree
Yeah,
with.
I'll
I
go
agree.
4.
I'll go 6. He wasn't
6.
fault for the first goal, but Arsenal.
No, that first goal was going out. Why did he chase it?
6.
What about the second
Yeah.
goal, guys? Even the second goal.
Yeah.
And the second goal, I
Second
can't
goal could have been
blame
saved
him.
too.
But the way he describes it, he's like Jamie Vardy. He just does what he does, and I'm like, you're the goalie, dude. Like, why are you talking about Jamie Vardy doing what he does? You should be saving it like that. Like, don't watch and admire. But at the same time, I don't think he could have done much with that. I think the ball was just way too perfect.
Yeah.
Newcastle have had 2 players injured in about 30 minutes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just now?
Yeah.
So what's the score?
Seriously?
Yeah, Harry Kane just took someone out and someone pulled their hammy.
So
Hope
Rob
one of them is
Holding
an
didn't
Isaac
have his
Hayden.
best game out. What do you guys rate Rob Holding performance out of 10?
5, 4. I'm gonna go 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
5.
5.
I'll go for 5.
I didn't think he had his greatest of games, but I
No.
think 5 is fair enough. Don't forget he is still learning, so
Yeah.
no lower than a 5.
No, I'm a
Yeah.
5 for Rob. He needs help.
Yeah.
What about
I
Monreal?
Again, another 5. Considering the fact that he isn't really a centre back, you can't really blame it all.
Did you say
Blame it
Monreal?
all on him. Yeah, Monreal.
I'd go Monreal maybe a 6 or
6? Yeah,
6.
6.
Yeah, 6
Yeah.
for Nacho.
6.
One thing
yeah,
I
5
did
or
notice
6.
about Monreal was in the back three, he was the only one that stayed back the whole time. I noticed that if you look at where the average position was, Kolasinac is, I don't know, basically an attack, and Holding is sitting basically just inside the Arsenal's attacking half, just inside the line, and Monreal stays behind in the defense the whole time. So I think one thing I will give credit to him is that he stuck to his position throughout the game, where the other two, I think, wandered off. But for some reason, I'm okay with Kolasinac going up forward wherever he wants. The man can do what he wants, really.
Yeah.
Even the commentator
Yeah.
said he's playing as a defender and he's going up, he goes to the attack. He's playing as a defender.
He just seems like a freak athlete to me.
I think he's not a pure defender. He likes to attack. He's an offensive kind of player, and I think he should not be played as a defender. I think he should be at the wing side. I think left wing. Then I think we can utilize his power, everything, going forward, everything.
Yeah,
Speaking of the tank,
I agree. He's a tank.
I was like,
Absolutely.
there was one moment, he just took the ball from Mahrez from behind and he just ran away with the ball.
Yeah.
He just
guys, the tank out of 10.
Mahrez and he was just looking at Mahrez, could not do anything. He was just looking at the guy it's like taking a candy from a baby's hand, it was so easy.
The tank's probably 8 out of 10, I reckon. Or say between 7 and 8. 7.5.
Yeah, I might give him a 7. I might give him a 7.
Yeah.
Who is that guy? Kolasinac?
Kolasinac.
Yeah,
I'll
7.
give him 8. Big 8.
He was a contender for man of the match that night. So, but yeah, I'll
Yeah.
give him 8. I think he had a very good game, 8.
Yeah, it's interesting in a game where we concede 3 that the defender is man of the match, but that's just the type of player I think he is. He makes an impact in the game, and I would also have to say I would say about a 7.5 if you can give halves. Oxlade-Chamberlain playing out on the left, which is not his natural position. How did he fare for you?
I would give Ox about a 6.5.
Really?
5.5.
Well, I thought he had a great game. I'll give.
Yeah,
I'll
I
go
would
as
have
far.
given him a 7. I thought he made some good runs.
I'll go as far as saying a 7 or 8. I'll go as far as an 8 for Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he was brilliant.
Hector Bellerin gets a lot of stick right now, saying that he shouldn't be right back. But I actually thought he had a half decent game, with the exception of the fact that the right-hand side of the pitch, I think attacking-wise he was all right. The right-hand side of the pitch was so exposed in that first half. All Leicester's first 2 goals both come from there.
Right.
Does that make an impact in his match rating?
Well, you have to a little. You have to a little bit, but obviously not too much because he wasn't actually at fault much to do with a couple of the goals. But obviously, it was due to his side. You could argue that he could have trapped back better. He could have read it a bit better. So you have to a little bit to mark him down for that.
Yeah.
What do you guys mark him at?
I think he can have a solid 7, to be honest. Solid 7.
I agree. I reckon
6.5.
Solid 7. I'll give him 7 for those runs because he was when he got it. Yeah, all right, we lost a bit, but when we were getting it out of defence, if we had Mitchell catching up, man, we had a couple more shots on goal because of that. So he's a solid 7 for me.
Yeah. Granit Xhaka, he literally is involved in 4 goals in this match. 2 of them for Leicester City. 2 of them for Arsenal.
It has to be man of the match from both sides.
Where do you rate him? How do you rate that?
It's a tough one. It's tough between the 6 or 7.
I'd give him a solid, maybe. I'd give him a solid 6.
I will give him solid 10.
Really?
Shall I just say 7? I'll say 7.
I'll say 7. I've read somewhere some of his stats and some of his passing was a lot better than what I thought it actually was. So I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. What about Mohamed El Neni? He also had an assist. Well,
I'll give him a 7. I thought
assist I will remember forever.
I'll give him a 7. I thought he was good.
He's always looked like he wants. He always looks like he actually wants to make something happen. So I'll give him a 7.
Just 7.
This is where I hold my breath because I love him so dearly.
Oh.
So I always have a hard time listening to people rate him.
First half he did very well. The second half he dropped off. There's Ozil.
Ozil.
6.
Okay.
Probably 5.
No, I think he's a 6. No, he's a 6.
I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he was alright.
Yeah, I think he did well. I mean, he wasn't great, but his average is still a lot better than a lot of guys' top 4.
All right. Danny Welbeck scores a goal in this one.
I'll give him a 6. He should have scored about 50.
Yeah. He's very good. He does all the work rate right on that flanks, but when he gets to the finishing goal, that's where he really needs to work. He needs to be working on that solely in training every week. Just work on his finishing so he can get it in and be more clinical. But he got the goal and he was always a threat. Again, I'll give him a 7. Another 7.
Yeah, he's a 7 for me too.
All right. Alexander Lacazette. Boys,
I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, debut game 7.
7.5.
Scored a goal.
He got the goal on his debut. I'm going to give him an 8.
7.5.
An 8.
I like where Sebastian is thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And also,
he could have had second actually.
Yeah.
No, like
And
the
also,
one thing I love about this guy is not only scores, he holds the player, he holds the ball, he's good with the passing the ball. You know, he lets the other player too get involved in the game, and it's a good thing. He's a perfect fit Arsenal. Like he plays the ball in the D box, in the opposition box, and I think he's a perfect match for the Arsenal. The way we play the game, everything.
Yeah, and also he makes good runs in good
Yeah.
positions where
Yeah.
he always looks like he actually wants something to happen. And that header he did for the goal wasn't actually an easy header, I thought. I thought it was a pretty difficult one, but he's that type of player that does only need one or two chances, then it can go in. So looking forward
Even
to see
I
more
would
of
give
that.
him the credit for the fourth Oliver, the free kick goal because his shot was deflected and we got a free kick. Even the fourth goal, it's all because of him. Like Oliver
Well, yeah,
scored.
and that was. I thought he was going to score there. And I think maybe if
The goalkeeper
he took
saved.
his touch, he shot a bit earlier, he would have scored. But man, you can't complain with how the game ended up.
Yeah.
Olivier Giroud, speaking of the man,
I'll give him an 8.
Yeah,
Yeah, 8.
just
Man of
for
the
that
match.
and that impact alone, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Actually, I'll give him
does the same go for Aaron Ramsey?
Oh yeah.
Sorry? Aaron Ramsey.
7.
Yeah, again,
I'll give him a 9.
I'll go 8. I'll go
Solid.
8.
7.
I'm going for a 9. Ramsey.
He almost
I'm
scored
gonna-
with his first touch, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
go for an 8.
He should have got
Yeah.
penalty for the first touch. It will have been a goal, but we didn't get any penalty for that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We should have
I'll
got
give
a
Ram-
penalty.
I'll give Ramsey an 8. I'll be honest with you. I would have given Giroud an 8 until I saw the replay of that goal, mate. And I'll give him a 9 based on that goal because I tell you what, he should have ripped out of that shirt with the amount of blokes hanging off it for him to get up that high. I'm amazed that shirt's still in one piece.
Mate, I reckon all the ladies would not have complained if that shirt ripped off of him.
Oh mate, if he's going to score like that, I won't complain. I'll rip it off him.
All right, guys. Finally, Theo Walcott. Dude, can you even rate him?
I don't know.
5, because he wasn't really on long enough,
Yeah,
and
I'll
5,
give
and he
him
didn't
Nah.
really do much when he came on, so I'll say 5. I'll just give him a
Maybe
straight
3?
5.
Just give him.
Three?
Give him a 5. I'll give him a 5.
No, 5 is fair enough.
5 is
Yeah.
fair. He didn't have a chance to do anything wrong,
Yeah,
Ah.
I wouldn't say much more.
but he didn't
I'll
have
go
a
to
chance to
each
do
of you
anything good either.
individually now.
So.
Troy, man of the match. You can only pick one.
Man of the match. Oh. God, that's a tough one. Although I'm gonna go Lacazette for man of the match. He scored the goal, but I think he also worried them. I think he was also around the forward line enough to worry their defence. So I think he was from. I know the stats wise, and I know it's purely on emotion for him, but I think getting him out there, getting that first goal, has just sent probably a warning to the others that, you know what, they tend to write him off because they're from the French league, that it's an easier league, but you know what, he's here and he's picked up where he left off.
Yeah.
Sebastian?
Definitely. Man of the match. Ooh.
I'm gonna go Kolasinac. Yeah, he had a good game. He played well
Ooh.
in the back three, so yeah, I'll go Kolasinac.
Yeah, for me, it's a tough one between Kolasinac and Oxlade-Chamberlain, to be honest. 'Cause
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll say Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'll go Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'll go different.
I will go for Ole because he was my impact player for the game, so I will have to go for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely thinking about Giroud, but I think for the match as a whole, I actually do think Kolasinac.
Yeah.
Yes,
Did-
definitely.
Because if you look at it, Leicester City scored 3 goals that night, but we looked at times to be, very exposed. And I think Kolasinac makes some very, very important challenges. There's the penalty shot he gets earlier in the game. It's the fact that he runs out from defense to attack to assist Welbeck. I just think he does it all. I think he adds a different element to Arsenal, and I think it's just the beginning. I think once he starts playing left back, and if you have Koscielny and Mustafi back in the defense, I think he's going to look even better than he is now, which is a bit scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, on to the next game. We will be having a show on, I think Saturday. When we guys want to have a show, I was thinking either Saturday night or Thursday.
It should be
We'll let you
Friday.
know later on in the week. But we do have Stoke City coming up away. For everybody watching the video today, I think we had a great amount of guests. So I thank you guys for coming on today. Please like and subscribe to the channel, guys. This is a brand new channel. I'm really just loving the much we have. We have Sebastian on today, all the way from England. I think that says a lot. Of course, I have to thank Bradley as well for his connections. But yeah, have a good night, guys, and up the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal.
Thanks.
Up
the
the
Arsenal.
Arsenal, guys.
Come on, you Reds.
Gunners.
Come
Yeah,
on, you Gunners.
Gunners.
That's it.